You know what I love about the RV industry? It's not that you have to come out with a brand new floor plan. It's not that you need something that's going to be so revolutionary that it's going to blow everyone's mind. It's taking something that is already good and making it better. And that is exactly what they have done with this coach right here, the Airelume 265. This is not a new floor plan by any stretch, right? I'll go inside, we'll take a look at it. It's going to be your rear double over double bunks, you know, with your side aisle bath, second entrance we can see right there. But there's definitely some things here that they have done very well. And on top of that, they made it super affordable. So let's head on in. I'll kind of give you the overview and then we'll break it down. So you can see right up front here is going to be the bedroom. You have the big super slide with the Luma Lounge, they call it. It's going to be like a versatile lounge, kind of does a few different things I'll talk about in a second. In the back are going to be your double over double bunks. Right back here is your bathroom and then your kitchen along this wall. So starting off, one of the things they did that I really like, and again, I've seen a few manufacturers do similar things, but it's going to be this, what they've done with the entertainment center. So essentially you have a spot for your TV right here, fireplace right down underneath. That's 5,000 BTUs to help heat the space up. But as you probably figured, there's a handle on here. We can open that up and boom, look at that. You have all sorts of stuff. Not only does this work as a pantry, this also doubles as a spot for your components. So, you know, you can bring your cables in right through here in the back of your TV. And if you have something right over here, like a Blu-ray player, or a PlayStation for the kids, whatever it may be, you have a spot in which you can hook that up. Another thing I really love is this. Yeah, that is a basically dedicated coffee bar. And I don't know about you folks watching, I'm a big coffee drinker. Look at this, coffee! Cool thing about this though is this is for K-cups. This drops down, gives you a spot for those. You can see right up top is going to be your microwave, super accessible. And then you have this space right here to be able to plug in your coffee maker. And of course, underneath that, you have some additional storage. Now, it's not only for coffee. If you have, you know, other vices, you want a nightcap or something like that, it certainly works as a standard bar as well. Or again, you know, whatever else you want to put there. I mean, shoot, maybe you want to put shoes in here, right? You can do that too. You want to come in, put all your shoes in here. There is a spot underneath. I don't know if you can see it, kind of right under there. You can put shoes at. But, you know, the space is just a good utilization of space. You can use it for whatever your heart desires. Coming across the way we get into the kitchen, one of the things you will notice right away is the massive window on the campsite. This is where you want a big window, right? You kind of want it in your kitchen living area so you can see out to your campsite. You can see, you know, the kids playing. You can see people eating at the picnic table if they need refills, whatever it may be. This is where you want your big window, and they've definitely done that. It's huge. It does open for some ventilation there as well. You can see the thermoformed countertops here in the kitchen. Because of that, it allows them to undermount the stainless steel bowl to keep things a lot cleaner so you don't have the seam from the sink, right? Then you have the high-rise kind of industrial faucet there too. Right up here to the side is going to be your control panel. Nothing super crazy. I mean, you have your lights right here, slide, awning. You can see outside lights, accent lights, water pump, tank monitoring panel on there as well, and then solar prep, everything there. You have the two-toned wood up top. I think that's a nice look, helps break some things up. You can see that additional storage. Then over to the side, you have this guy. Now, while I'm not super crazy about the stamped steel, you know, I mean, you guys can let me know what you think. I've seen a lot of manufacturers start using this in RVs. You know, love it or hate it, let me know in the comments. But one of the things I do like is this saying they put in it, and it says, life is measured in moments. And I think that's huge, right? Especially when we're talking about the family, we're talking about little ones. Man, it is so true. My kids are growing up way, way, way too fast. And it is really all about the small moments, about those small moments in time making the memories. Underneath the sink, right, not a ton of storage. We'll take a look when we go outside, but it's because they did something on the outside there that I do like. But you can see there's just not a ton of space under here. But what they did do is underneath the 3-burner cooktop, which is recessed with the cover, is they give you this massive storage space for pots and pans because the microwave they put up over there in a much more usable spot. I've seen a lot of manufacturers try to put microwaves underneath the ovens, and it's stupid. I'm sorry. If it was a drawer style microwave like this, where you load it in from the top that people have in homes, fine, but it's not. It's a normal microwave. Then you have to like hit the button and bend down, and nobody wants to do that. It's a silly place to do it. Manufacturers need to stop. This is something else I really like. Dedicated spot for my trash can. So I'm not too concerned. There's not a lot of space under here because I have a spot for my pots and pans. I have a spot for my trash can. I'm good. And then you see the pull-out drawers. They kind of have like this nice angle on them too. That's something that Airelume has put into quite a few of their units, kind of following the shape of the countertop. I do like that for all of your flatware. Also, electrical outlets on both sides of the countertop. Did want to mention that in case you need to plug a few extra things in there. Kind of taking a look to the back. So this is going to be our double over double bunks. Now, you may notice this is a very different design. So you have, there's no wall or anything here. It's open. You have the ladder so you can easily climb up into the top bunk. But of course, the elephant in the room is going to be this cutout right here. Now, A, it kind of matches some of the other harsh angles they have in here like we saw at the countertop. But B, the main reason for it is so that you can easily, let me see if I can flip this around and show you. I don't know if it's going to be good on camera, but now I can easily come in here, be able to turn and make my way into the bathroom, right? Without that cutout, it would be very hard to do. Or they'd have to shrink the bathroom, which oftentimes is what they do in these layouts. They shrink this bathroom so much. They cut this way back. You don't have any space. That's not at all the case in here. When I come into this bathroom, I can kind of step back and show you. You have some robe hooks here. You have the mirror. I mean, look at the size of this wall. You can see your vanity right there, your sink top. Tankless water heater, by the way. And not all tankless water heaters are the same, folks. That right there is a 60,000 BTU tankless water heater. Suburban also has a 42K, but they put in the big one because they want you to be able to take a shower and actually be able to enjoy the whole purpose of the tankless water heater. And the 60,000 BTU definitely allows you to do that a lot easier. As for height, at 6 foot tall, without the skylight, my hair is touching. With the skylight, you could probably be 6'2" and still be able to stand up in here. And it is a pretty big skylight. Like, I don't know if you can see that. It is a pretty good size. So, it's not too much of an issue. While you'll be standing, you can probably be 6'2" and not have to duck down. You'll be just fine. This is something else that I almost never see in a rear bunk model, and that is a pocket door. How cool is that, right? So rather than having a swing door, you get a pocket door in here. I think they just did a really good job of setting all this up. And then on this side, obviously, you'll get the full length. The other side's gonna be a little bit shorter. For kiddos, this will be great. For adults, this, I'm not gonna lie, is gonna be a little bit tougher just because you really only have this much space or else your feet are gonna hang off. You also have USB ports. Love to see that. Dropping down, same thing right here. Now this one is locked in the up position just to show you that you have all this additional storage space, mainly for travel, but even when the bunk is down, you can slip like duffel bags in there, laundry baskets, whatever you need for additional clothes. Also, they tucked the fuse panel right down underneath here as well, which I thought was a pretty clever spot for it. Another thing I do want to mention, we're kind of talking about the kitchen earlier, but right here is going to be the fridge freezer combo, plenty of cold storage space there. And then we get into the Luma Lounge. Actually, before we touch that, because I'm going to forget otherwise, I want to hit on the ACs. This one does have a AC right there, but it is prepped for a second. It is brace prepped for a second. It has 50 amps, so if you want 2 ACs, you can have it in here. Also has H-style ductwork running through the ceiling so that it's closable vent. So if you want to keep it cool in the bedroom and in the bunk room, you can close the vent to this main living area, have it blast in both those rooms nice and easily. All right, back to the Luma Lounge. Let's talk about this. Now, you may have seen this before. There is another manufacturer, Salem Wildwood, uses this basically exact same thing. But essentially what this is right here, you have like a chase lounge, right? So you have the sofa, then you kind of have this chase lounge. This isn't set up right. Hold on. Sorry. This, someone tried, but this is intended to go back here. So, I guess let me just show you. All right, so if we remove all this, this part right here comes out, it flips around, it sits right here in these, and then you have your standard dinette, right? So there's your dinette space. You can play games, eat, do everything you need to do, and you would have the seat on this side. Also, underneath the dinette, I do want to show you, you have some really good storage. That one also has a bin tucked away in there. You can see that you have access to that bin. Also, that smaller cushion is meant to fit down there as well. The bigger one is actually meant to fit right up there, or you can fit both of them in either of these sides. But you can see that you have, again, the extra storage. But if you want the extra seating, like we kind of had it set up here, you flip it so it's like this, like it is. Then we take this one goes back, then this one, you can see the Velcro on there. This one then pushes into place. There we go. That looks a lot more comfortable, and that's how it should be set up. Now you have this nice chase lounge, so a bunch of people can sit here and hang out, and you have a great shot to that TV I showed you earlier with the pantry. I also do want to mention that you have excellent storage. I mean, take a look at this. Boom, you get 2 big O totes here. Gotta love that, right? So you have additional storage there as well. And as you would probably expect, this is a jackknife sofa, so this flips up and drops down if you need a little bit of additional sleeping space there as well. Just makes it super versatile. Now, we talked about the big window over here in the kitchen, right? And how massive this one is, because this is the view you want. But if you notice, above the sofa, it's the opposite. It's gonna be this nice skinny window that, I mean, I think it's like 8 foot or something. Like, it's huge. It runs this whole length. But what I like about this is that it's not this big open window into your neighbors, right? Like, we don't want to sit there and look at their campsite. Sometimes it can feel odd. Like, in pretty much every campground, all these blinds are shut on the windows because it's just, again, it almost feels like an invasion of privacy sometimes, unless you know them. But with this, it still lets natural light come in. You have this part right here which opens, so you can still get airflow coming in. But because the window isn't as big, it just gives you a lot more privacy. So when you're sitting down, you know, you're not necessarily staring out into the neighbors. I do like what they did with the windows in this coach. I think it was very clever. Okay, let's head into the bedroom, because there's some really cool stuff in here as well. Starting with this, folks, that is a 60 by 80 inch residential queen size bed. That is correct. So what that means, if you have a queen bed at home and you want to replace this mattress with your one at home, boom, you can make that happen. Would have been sweet if I would have had a mattress to go in there when I snap my fingers. But you can exchange that out. Now, this is not a bad mattress per se, right? I mean, it's an RV mattress. It's, you know, it'll work for a weekend, but if you're spending, you know, a considerable amount of time in here, I do recommend getting a different one, as I do with pretty much any RV. Underneath this, I will say, you do have good extra storage too. It's strut supported. It shares access with your pass-through there, and you get these bins right here at the bottom. There's a tiny bit of storage. You might be able to put like slippers or something under there. I don't know that you're getting full shoes. Be able to fit some slippers in there. And even honestly, even if they hang out a little bit, it doesn't matter, because, you know, the bed overhangs that by so much. So yeah, you probably could fit shoes there. But the other thing I want to mention is how high the shelves are. That is very intentional, folks, because a lot of times mattresses, residential mattresses, are a lot thicker, right, than RV mattresses. I mean, you can get like 10, 11-inch mattresses, which is going to, you know, almost double the size of this mattress. They put the shelves up nice and high and out of the way, so that it's not going to interfere with the mattress. Same thing with this one right up here. That way you're not going to sit up and bang your head. Also, right over to the side, you will see there's a spot for a TV if you do want TV in the bedroom. You have some additional wardrobe space right over here to the side. Open that up just to kind of give you a peek. And then if we flip this around, kind of behind us here, there is a door. Take a look at that. You have a basically floor to ceiling storage area right here. This massive additional wardrobe. You have the hanging rod. You have the good extra storage space right up here. That's something you oftentimes just don't get, but I really do like seeing it. All right, now you might be saying, but Ian, what about the outside? Show me the outside of this beautiful Airelume 265, and I would love to. So, right up front, it's a little dirty. It still needs to be detailed. You know, we're in the Midwest, guys, and right now it's a little snowy, and so you get road grime. It needs to be cleaned up. But right here, this is going to be your power tongue jack. Makes it nice and easy to hook up and disconnect. That is going to be 2 20-pound propane tanks with the cover there. Of course, rails for the battery, and then right down there is the battery disconnect, so you can kill all power. I really do like the front end on here. You have the rock guard plus the smooth aluminum front. Love, love, love the color. But the cool thing about this is not only does it look nice, it's going to be nice and easy to clean. I mean, take a look at that. It's almost a perfect match with my shirt. Man, they did good. The other thing I like is that this kind of wraps around, right? So you have that front, the front kind of wraps around with the blue there. I really do like the exterior for a couple different reasons. One, you don't have like the swoops and the swooshes and like everything that we're so used to seeing. It's a lot more modern, a little bit more hard angles, kind of like we had inside. The other thing I like about it though is even though it's aluminum, it's an upgraded aluminum. So it is going to be thicker than your standard ribbed aluminum. It kind of has almost like a, I don't know, like a semi-gloss finish to it. Like it looks a lot nicer. It feels a lot nicer. It's thicker, so it doesn't dent as easy. You know, again, just like not all tankless water heaters are the same, not all exterior aluminum exteriors are the same, and they definitely upgraded this one, which I'm a big fan of. Taking a look at the pass-through, we'll open this up. You will notice that it has a covered hinge on here, also a magnetic catch. On the back side is dry erase for whatever that's worth to you, if you want to leave some notes or something there. More importantly, like a packing list, you can cross things out that you have in there. Then if we drop down, we can see that it is a good size pass-through. So you have plenty of storage there, and as we saw, it does share access to underneath the bed. We can see that there. Making our way back a little bit further here, a couple things. One of them is going to be the large power awning. Yes, it does cover both doors just like you would expect, and it also has an LED light strip on there. Your main entrance is going to be the MORryde step above steps, the aluminum treads, so they're not going to rust. The big one, of course, is bigger, nice, easy, adjustable feet on here as well. And if we drop down, there's a few things I want to point out. One of them is going to be a propane quick connect. I don't know if we can see it in this show setting. It's pretty dark, but you also have the enclosed underbelly, and that is like the accessibelly. So every, I think it's 8 feet, there is a line of screws, so you can drop a section of underbelly. You don't have to cut anything out. You can just drop a section for access to things underneath. That's huge when you're looking at any kind of troubleshooting and potential maintenance down the road. I talked about this when we were inside. Remember I said there was something I really liked, which was taking up some of our under-counter kitchen space, and it is this right here. Yes, that is going to be the outside fridge. For me, this is totally worth it. I love having an outside fridge, whether it's a family coach or couples coach. I want to be able to grab some quick bevies. This allows me to do it. Let me know your thoughts. Would you rather have the inside storage and eliminate this, or do you like having the outside fridge? Let's talk about it in the comments, because cool thing about our position, folks, is that we get to, I get to take feedback, and I get to take the feedback from these videos back to the manufacturers and say, hey, this is what people want. This is what people are saying. So if you feel strongly one way or another, let's talk about it so we can build a better coach together. A couple other things I really like out here. One is that you have your electric hookup, but this right here is really nice. So they, instead of just your, I guess skirting or fender, whatever you want to call this, instead of being black, they painted it blue to match the rest right there. Now, it's not a perfect match, but it looks really good, and I do love the fact that it's not just black, right? I think I like that they did something a little bit different there that a lot of manufacturers aren't doing. Now, that secondary entrance is just going to have your standard fold-down steps, and yes, it's going to lead you directly into the bathroom, so kiddos or guests or yourself aren't traipsing dirt all the way through the entire RV. You can come in, do your business, head right back out. Super, super common. I've had a lot of people that are like freaking out about like, oh, I don't want to enter right into a toilet. Folks, there's a deadbolt there, right? If you're using the toilet, you just deadbolt the door so no one can come in. Trust me, once you're out camping and you use this, you'll be thankful how easy that is to get to, especially if you're enjoying that outside fridge like I do right there. Coming around to the back, you will see that there's a spare tire mounted to the bumper. It does have a cover on there, which is kind of nice. The Airelume symbol. Right up top there is going to be your backup camera prep. Should have ladder. There it is. Your ladder prep is over to the side on this floor plan. Most other Airelumes, it's on the back, but for this one, for whatever reason, they put it right over here. Something I did like, I kind of glazed over this, sorry. Something I did like about this particular layout, and again, usually it's not here on most of them, but your water connections are right here on the back. The black tank flush isn't a huge deal because I can use that wherever. Having the city water inlet back here is nice because generally when you're camping, right, the water's like back here on the off-camp side somewhere behind the camper. So that's a super short throw to it, so that way I don't have to have like 2 or 3 potable water hoses, which is nice. Right over here is going to be your cable and satellite, and as I mentioned, inside this is the upgraded 60,000 BTU tankless water heater. Our termination's right down there with both hot and cold water access. 50 amp detachable power cord, not only because it has a fireplace, but also, as I talked about, it is prepped for a second AC. I think I hit this, but right there is going to be your ladder prep for getting onto the ceiling. couple other things I want to talk about. One is going to be this right here, the fact that this one has slide topper prep. So if you want slide toppers, it's a lot easier to have that installed. That way it protects the top of the slide from sticks, pine cones, sap, anything else that's going to fall down on the top there. Just makes maintenance a lot easier. Otherwise you have to get up on your roof via a ladder or have another ladder and brush all that off before you push the slide in, because like sticks and pine cones and things can get up in the seals and jam them up, and sap is just not good for your membrane. Dropping down underneath, the other thing I wanted to mention is this right here, which is the slide system. Folks, this is a great slide system. This is the, I believe it's the Power Gear system is what they're using here. Now, I don't know if I showed it inside, but this is an above floor slide. The reason that I really like this slide out is because in travel mode, when it is in, you can be in the slide without fear of damaging it. So if you're sitting in that Luma Lounge, you can sit there, you can relax, you can load that thing up. You can have 3 or 4 people, you're not gonna damage the slide system, which cannot be said for other slide systems. That's pretty darn cool. Now, if you really like this one and you wanna know price and availability, not a problem. I will leave a link in the comments. You can click on that. But other than that, folks, let me know what you did like or what you think should change. Again, put that in the comments. We'll talk about it. That way we can take it back to the manufacturer and make sure that the Airelume is going to be a really cool coach. It is brand new. I think they're doing really cool things. And I think we're going to start seeing a lot more of them on the road. Thanks for watching. I'm Ian Baker, and until next time, we'll see you.